Hi, Ricky Warwick.
Yes, sir.
All right, so much has gone on with you, man. I mean, there you are. You were an Irish boy. Now what? You're living in LA?
I am.
I mean, how did that happen?
Yeah, how did that happen? 20 years.
Yeah.
Been there. Really, it was, it was love. I was on tour there with Def Leppard. I was opening for Def Leppard solo acoustic back in 2003. My wife came to the show, was working for my record label, and things progressed.
Yeah.
And I decided to make the move across the Atlantic, and we were 20 years married, and best thing I ever did.
Oh, fantastic. I lived there for a few years.
Okay.
You know, I was at Radio Luxembourg.
Of course, yes, absolutely.
And after that, when I finished there, I moved to LA.
Right.
It must have been 1991.
Right at the height of the, when it was all happening on the strip back then.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
And I stayed there till 94.
Yeah.
And I still, I miss it.
Right. Yeah.
But when I'm over there, I miss
Well,
this.
I mean, we're sitting here in glorious July in England, and
it's raining.
rain, so it's easy to miss the sunshine in LA,
but
right?
man, listen, the rain, and as long as it's warm rain, there's something poetic about it.
Yeah.
Isn't there?
Yeah.
And that's another thing, your lyrics.
Oh, thank you.
Outstanding.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
You know, I was a good buddy with Phil Lynott.
Of course, yes.
And he actually was the first person to tell me,
Yeah.
it's Lynott. It's not Lynott.
It's why not. Scott Gorham always told me, he says it's why not line up.
Is that right?
Phil Lynott.
Yeah, so he said, Peter,
Yeah.
it's Lynott.
Yeah.
I said, oh, and I've never forgotten
Yeah.
that, and I've always used it now.
It's Lynott.
Some people pull me up on it. And
No,
go,
it's Lynott. If you
Yeah,
ask
it's
Scott,
Lynott, mate.
Scott Gorham's mouth himself,
Yeah,
he said
yeah.
the same thing. Why not line up? That's what
Yeah.
Phil used to say, and that's what his name is. It's Philip Lynott.
So did you ever meet him?
I did not know.
Oh, wow.
I never got to see him play with Lizzie, but I got to see Phil play with Grand Slam.
Yeah.
Shortly before he passed away, I was about 17 at the time.
Oh, man.
So I was still pretty young when Lizzie were really at their height.
Yeah.
I was growing up, and I was still in Northern Ireland then, and
Yeah.
in the process of moving to Scotland. And I actually saw Grand Slam play in Glasgow about 1984.
Yeah.
So I got to see the great man on stage. It wasn't very many people at the show. It was definitely
Crazy,
towards the end, but it was Phil. And it was just brilliant to see him.
I mean, I knew him all the way through that period. When he broke up Lizzie, I said, "What are you doing it for? Why are you doing it? Don't do it. Why?
Yeah.
I just want to, And then he got Grand Slam out. And he couldn't get a deal.
Sure.
I mean,
It's tough.
can you believe it? He's like, it's
Yeah,
huge
and it's insane, but it was a strange time. The '80s, obviously, music was changing. There was a lot of synthesizer music around, and drum machines were coming to the fore. And rock was definitely, certainly early '83, '84, '85. Rock was floundering because we didn't have the Guns N' Roses coming on to kick it up the arse yet.
No.
And I can understand why that. People, again, I don't think people recognised them as genius until it was too late.
But you definitely do a good liner.
Thank you.
You do, and I don't know whether you mean to, and I don't know whether it's a natural thing.
No, I think the way I look at it is I'm a fan, and Phil's always a lead singer with Thin Lizzy. There is nobody else.
Yeah.
He's irreplaceable, and when I close my eyes and think of Lizzy, I see it with Phil, not with me.
Yeah.
I get to sing his songs, and I try and sing them with as much soul and power and intent as Phil would, because they mean so much to me, because I grew up on them. So I try and put everything I've got into it. But we all want to try and hear the little, inflections that Phil has. You want to hear that when you hear them live.
He's so cool.
If you go and see a band, and one of the original members isn't there, you kind of want it to be in the same ballpark. So I try and get the sort of cadence in my voice like Phil, who's a big influence on me. But I try and put the Ricky Warwick aspect into it as well. So it's a balancing act, you know what I mean?
You worked with a lot of Thin Lizzy players, Scott Gorham very recently, but others, Sykes you worked with, didn't you?
I've never worked with John. When we were doing Lizzy the first time out, it was myself, Scott. Scott and I go way back. I've known Scott since about 1990.
Yeah.
He's been a great friend since then. Brian Downey was playing drums, and Darren Wharton was on keys.
Yeah, so practically Thin Lizzy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what happened to the second generation Thin Lizzy with you? What because I remember that happening, and then it sort of merged into the
Black Star Riders. Yeah, well, we toured a lot, and it was great, and like everything else, you start getting confident, and there's writers in the band, and we started talking about writing some new material. The idea was mooted around that we do record it under the Thin Lizzy moniker, and then we suddenly thought, hang on a minute, playing these songs live is one thing, and keeping the songs like recording an album without Phil, maybe that's a step too far. And I certainly had the whole conflicting thing of, you know, my heart versus my head, where, you know, in my head's going, and this is great, you're recording Thin Lizzy, and your heart's going, what are you doing?
Yeah.
This is sacrilege. You shouldn't touch this. This has been the soundtrack to your life and your youth.
It's
You know,
rather
don't go down that road of recording music without Phil, because it's not right. And we came to that decision, but we had a bunch of songs recorded, which we really liked and really believed in. We thought, well, we don't want to waste these songs, so why don't we just come up with a name and put the album out? We didn't know if anybody's going to be interested. We just want to get the music out there.
Yeah.
And thankfully they were. The album did really well, and, you know, 10 years down the road, we're on our 5th record.
Yeah, and now you've got well, your most recent one was the Ricky Warwick and
well, Black Star Riders put a new record out this year called The Wrong Side of Paradise.
Oh right,
which
okay,
came out in February, and that was another top 10 record for us in the UK.
Yeah.
And so we toured that. We've already toured that this year, and then my last solo record came out in 2021, which was Life Is Hard and Fast.
Hard and Fast, that's it. Yeah. So always good artwork on the albums, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
I love the old 40s artwork that you used with the girls, like
Pin-up girls.
Yeah, like the girls on the side of a bomber from World War II.
Yep.
You know, I love that sort of cartoon beauty.
Well, just, you know, again, I'm from that generation where the album is a piece of art in every respect, from not just obviously the music, but to the cover, to everything else, and to me that's what makes it exciting.
Yeah.
I think the rest of the guys felt the same way, so we always want a strong imagery in our artwork, and that's something we've always tried to do.
Well, the thing is, when you go, if you get a shop and you see hard copy, you see the cover, and the cover makes you want to pick it up.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and if it doesn't look exciting, then
I'm sure you were the same back on the youth. I mean, sometimes we would just buy a record based on how great the artwork was before we even heard it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Look at the artwork on that; it's got to be worth a listen.
Yeah.
You know, like Cream.
Yeah,
things like
absolutely.
that.
There's really gears up, obviously.
Yeah. It's all going very well for you now.
Thank
You're
you.
playing the Forum here in Tunbridge Wells, which I always call the greatest little venue in the country.
It's a great gig. I've played here a couple of times. I think the last time I played here was maybe 15, 16 years ago. So it's nice to be back here. I haven't played in a while, but, you know, for the Fighting Hearts, this is a great gig, a perfect gig for us. It'll be hot and sweaty and loud, and that's what the Fighting Hearts is all about. So we'll.
So you're feeling good today,
Oh
right?
yeah, absolutely.
Let me try and define this. You are feeling better than Saturday night.
Better than Saturday night.
Okay.
I'm always feeling better than Saturday night.
That's good.
Even though it's Sunday.
Exactly. So what about, are you a drinking man?
No, I've been sober now for 18 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good luck with that.
Thank you.
But I've got to bring up the fact that Thin Lizzy has an Irish whiskey out.
They do, which I'm not involved with any whatsoever.
Obviously you haven't tried it.
No.
Okay. But I have.
Right.
And
That's
I
good.
have to say, it's uniquely great.
That's good. Good.
It really
I
is.
know that Scott and Brian, you know, and Phil's girls went over to Cork. I think it's brewed distilled in Cork, right? And they went over and it was a big launch, and they put a lot of work into
And
it.
they used the Black Rose
And
artwork.
I know that they're quite excited about it, but sadly, it came out just after I kicked the booze. So I won't get to try it, but I'll live vicariously through you telling me how great it is.
It is fabulous. It is fabulous, and it uses the Black Rose artwork.
I saw that, that's great.
You know, so it looks fantastic. It'll look just great in the optics. You know, I mean, I'm not a big drinker, but I know Irish whiskey every once in a while. You know, we're going out with Phil.
Of course.
Moins a Jameson Trader.
Right.
You know, simple as that.
Yeah.
Okay, Phil.
Yeah.
And we'd have some.
Yeah.
But he'd be drinking his now.
Yeah.
I mean, this stuff's really good.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Good to
so
hear.
good luck with the
That's
family.
awesome.
And the whiskey. Good luck with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
Good. I mean, we've got. I'm going to record a new solo record in September. We've obviously got my old band, The Almighties, playing 3 shows at the end of the year. 2 of them already sold out. There's still a few tickets left from Manchester, but we expect them to be pretty soon. And I just keep rocking and rolling.
Keep rocking and rolling,
That's all I can
Ricky.
do.
Thanks for your time.
Thank
and
you.
good luck with the gig tonight.
Appreciate that, brother.
All
Thank
right.
you.